Yes. Welcome, everyone. Hello, hello, my loves, to a Creative Moon Woman Circle. The energies are really, really strong for me. Have been for the last week, I think, almost. I've been like this a little bit. I don't know how everybody else felt, but this is what it's been like for me. And today I'm ready to release something. Today we are working with the energies of Scorpio, which is a very, very intense water sign. It's actually the most intense water sign. I've heard from others and I also feel that. When Scorpio is around, we are confronted with very intense themes like death, rebirth, endings, sexuality as well. It goes very deep. It's a sign that goes very deep. And I personally, as a little secret Cancer, always feel that a lot. I feel like the waves are kind of like throwing me all around. So I created a process today to release some of that energy. When we're working with full moon, we are at the height of the cycle. Our moon cycles, they start with a new moon, then they go all the way up where we have the most light, and then there's the next phase of release. So when we are at the full moon, this is when we get ready to release. This is when we can really look at everything that came up through the past 2 weeks, which is the cycle that we had with this moon, since the new moon in Aries, since we did our first meeting. So we can look at that, but we can also look at a larger cycle, because the moon cycle from Scorpio actually started with the Scorpio new moon in October, I think it was, last October. So we have these larger cycles as well that we can look at. I'm not going to hang very much in the dates and everything, but just you can feel into that, and kind of see, okay, what are you getting ready to release? What came up for you? What do you really want to change in your life, maybe? So we're going to work around these topics. And today is actually, or yesterday was a lunar eclipse as well. And the lunar eclipse is even more, is almost like pushing us towards where we want to shed a part of ourselves. We want to let go of realities that we don't want in our lives, versions of ourselves that we want to die. Let go. And these can be very, very intense processes. So first of all, please make sure that you're okay. Make sure that you have everything that you need. I recommend a glass of water or something like that. And you can, of course, choose how deep you're going to go. Everything that I offer here is an offering to you. My guidance, as well as the art that we're going to do. So if you feel called to do something different, follow your own intuition and follow your own process. Now, this is not a class where I'm going to check what you did after and give you degrees or something like that. So this is really free work just for you. Everyone that knows me knows that I like to start with a guided meditation, I call it, some guidance, because for me, all these moon processes, and especially like the work I do around cycles as a woman, is inner work. So we want to connect with our inside first. We want to connect with our heart, with our body, with like the world inside of us. So I invite you to make yourself comfortable. It's good if your spine is upright, but you don't have to sit straight. You don't have to like not move or anything. If you feel called to move, if you feel called to stand up, if your body wants something, always listen to it. So whatever needs to happen for you, just allow it to happen. So we're going to start with a few deep breaths. And I actually have some instruments today because I'm back home and I got all my little secret things. So I invite you to tune in with yourself and just give yourself a moment to settle into yourself, feeling your breath slowly going in and out. Like a wave, your belly and your chest lifting and falling. And I invite you to feel your feet on the ground, feeling grounded, feeling connected with the earth. Feeling the energy of the earth below you. And allowing it to move into your feet and up your legs, your knees, all the way into your hips. If it feels good, I invite you to place a hand on your womb space, on your lower belly. Just tune in there for a moment into your creative center. Just being there, giving yourself some attention. Feeling your back, your spine, your belly, your chest. And if it feels good, you can place another hand on your heart. And creating the connection between your heart and your womb. And breathing into it. Long and slow and deep. And letting your shoulders relax. Your arms and hands relaxing. Feeling the energy in your hands. Maybe you can feel your heart beating. And then relaxing your face, your jaw, your eyes, the space between your eyes, your forehead and cheeks. Letting all tension go. Letting everything that happened today go. Relaxing the back of your head, your neck. And then I invite you to imagine standing on the shore of an ocean, feeling the sand under your feet, maybe feeling the breeze, smelling the air, feeling the wetness of the air, and just watching over this ocean, over your inner ocean for a moment. watching the waves coming and going. And maybe it is calm, blue, maybe it is dark, maybe there are so many waves, it is moving. Whatever it is for you right now. And then, first of all, I invite you to give a gift to this ocean. Maybe there's a little flower, or maybe a crystal, or whatever else comes into your imagination right now. Just stepping forward and giving to the waves. And then you can step into the water, just feeling it on your feet. And you can go as far as feels comfortable for you. You can stay here just feeling it on your feet, or you can go deeper, allowing the water to come all the way up to your knees or to your hips even, or maybe you even feel like you want to be completely immersed. Whatever's comfortable for you. Feeling the water, the salt, the movement. And then I invite you to find the places inside of you that you want to let go, the versions of you that don't serve you anymore, the version of you that is not strong enough, the version of you that's not deserving, that is wrong, that has failed in the past. The version of you that did something you don't want to do anymore. The version of you that set boundaries or that didn't set boundaries. The version of you that you're ready to let go. Find these versions inside of you. Allow them to come up to the surface now. And first, you want to give your gratitude. Say thank you for being there because they have served you. They have served a purpose. They were there when you needed them for whatever reason. But now it is time to let go of that version of yourself. Because in order to grow, you need to let go of the old. And that is a part of you as well. Find that part that you're ready to let go of. And then you can imagine peeling it off your skin like a layer, like a dress, and allowing it to float away in the ocean. Feeling it in your body. And you can release sound and sigh if it's hard to let go. Letting go of the emotions that are attached to it, the thoughts, the story, all that you don't need anymore. Feeling it float away. in the ocean, allowing it to drift, allowing the ocean to renew. And then cleanse yourself, take some water, washing yourself off, releasing all the little leftovers. Mm. And you can take your hands and stroke your hands over your body and washing away all that you don't need anymore, letting it go. And then you can stop over your eyes for a moment, just enjoying the darkness there, coming back into your body, into the room where you are, feeling the ground under your feet, taking a few deep breaths. Feeling cleansed, feeling lighter. And then you can start rubbing your face, waking yourself up again, slowly coming back, slowly, slowly, whenever you're ready, opening your eyes. Yeah, maybe you want to stretch. Maybe you want to hug yourself. Okay. So now we will work with this theme in a drawing. As I said before in the beginning, if you have, I recommend starting with a cheap ballpoint pen. I have like some from different hotels that we stayed at. These are always my go-tos. So we're going to start with that. So first, what we will do is bring all these different versions of us that did not serve us anymore or that do not serve us anymore into the picture. Which means those parts of yourself that you're really ready to let go of. The part that's always making herself small, the part that's afraid maybe, the part that is not deserving, is needy, whatever it is for you. For me, it is the part that's afraid, the part that's needy, the part that's not self-sure. So I'm going to make several circles that are those parts. And I'm not going to even think of where they go, what they look like. I just place circles, however big, however small. Go around it several times. Circle does not have to be perfect. So we want to put between maybe 5, maximum 7. Not too much, just a few. And as I said, they can have different sizes. This one might be the one where I'm making myself small. And with everyone, you can think of what this part of you is. They can overlap, and they can be anywhere on your picture. Yeah. Maybe it's a part that is poor, or a part that does not have a lot of self-confidence. Whatever you want to let go. Got one more, maybe one more. here. So we're starting with several circles. Now, what I envision for today, and this is really a vision that came to me at night. I always have my best ideas when I'm actually sleeping, and I wake up and I suddenly know, is the shaman archetype that is Scorpio. One of the archetype that is associated with Scorpio is the shaman, and all the shamanic experiences that I've had in my life were always experiences of being broken into a million pieces and then putting myself back together as something different and something new. So we're going to put that into our drawing. This idea of breaking it all apart and then creating something new out of the pieces. The way we do that is with what we call a catharsis. And everyone who's familiar with Neurographic, you absolutely know what to do, so you can do it at any point. For everyone who's absolutely new, I'm going to explain that. The way we do it is in a burst of energy. So what I like to do is I take a few deep breaths and I just connect to my picture. I connect to what is here now. I connect to those parts that I'm ready to let go of, that I'm ready to change about myself. And then I take my pen. I like to really take it like a little child. I take it in my fist. This is why I recommend to use not your favorite pen. And then whenever I'm ready, I will go and destroy them, literally destroy them. So this is how we start our picture. We first put out what we want to destroy and then we destroy it. And we just do that for like 3-4 seconds, not too long, but just so that you feel, okay, everything's kind of different now. So I invite everyone to find your moment, taking a few deep breaths and then going whenever you're ready. And bringing it out. Okay, and now the first thing that we want to do is starting to bring harmony back into this. And the way we do that, I'm going to explain it just for the people that have not done Neurographica before. Everyone else, we're going to draw lines and we're going to round. So I'm just going to make a tiny little example here. So I have my thing that I just did. Okay, so what we want to do is in all those spaces where lines meet and circles meet, everywhere where you have two lines crossing, you want to round those out by going into the crossing and creating a connecting point. The way I like to do it is I actually go into the entire shape. So I go over all the lines that are created here and I imagine that the space in between is actually round. So here it's not a shape that has hard edges, but it is several shapes that are actually round. And so like this, I go through my drawing. And first of all, I take away all the hard edges, all the corners, and I change the image to a rounded out image. So I will just go in here and do this. And I'm going to use a different pen. So that means that I really want to go over every single line that I made. And you don't have to be exact with them. You can draw loose lines. We call those neurographic lines, meaning that they don't have to perfectly follow what is underneath. They can have a little bit of movement. They can be dynamic in a way. And now probably we're going to have a lot of work to do. So really just take your time with it and go through the drawing. It does not have about creating your perfect picture. It's really just about something different you want to change. While you do that, I invite you into your body, feel into, feel your head, and your own thoughts. What is going on inside of you while you do that? Are there stories? Are you discussing with yourself? Or maybe you're discussing, that this doesn't work. Just paying attention to what happens inside of you and keep drawing. Keep rounding out, keep exploring all the little spaces that we created now. What we're doing here is we look at this destruction. Well, we're now cut up into a bunch of little pieces, basically. When we look at the puzzle, a lot of small puzzle pieces that do perfectly fit together, though. So we create something new. And first, it may be chaotic, may not be beautiful, but that's okay. That's just a stage of it. That is just a moment. Just like life has its moments that are not perfect, it's moments that are hard. And we'll just breathe through it whenever you feel tension inside you. Use your breath. You can do audible exhales, for example, that help release the energy, and really working on releasing while you work yourself through this new, still fragmented self. We work with a fragmentation, which is something that shamans do. They destroy and then it's all in little pieces, and then they put these pieces together to something new, creating a better version, a new version. Really taking your time. If you cannot finish this drawing in our session, don't worry. You can always finish it later. I'm going to go through the entire process, but you can take as much time as you need for this, because this is really an important work. Finding a new pattern. And just keep going. And as I said, it does not have to be perfect. You want it to change. And change is never simple or easy. Change often requires deep inner work. There might be spaces where it's extra difficult or where you feel a lot of energy using your breath. And allowing yourself to be with it, be with this discomfort as well, and then releasing it. Now, sometimes we have just a single line sticking into space like I have here. So I will continue this line and connect it to something. You don't want to have, like here, I got another one. You don't want to have this just sticking out. So you just connect it somewhere, or here, this one as well, maybe kind of sticking out a little bit. Just go and connect it. We want everything to be little shapes connected to something else. Rounded shapes. Really allowing yourself to dive into this work, relaxing into it, allowing it to be meditative. Diving deeper into yourself and always staying with your own emotions, with your feelings, with your body. With your breath. Mm. And as I said, if you can't continue with me, just don't worry, just stick with this. This is the most important part. And then whenever you're ready to continue, you can join the next steps, or you can also watch the recording for that. Just taking really your time with this. Allowing this change to slowly work itself into your system. You can create new versions of yourself. But really, first of all, this process of letting go of the old before we can create anything new. We need to completely let go. So that we don't have to carry the baggage, carry the old stories, carry the guilt or the shame or whatever other fears or emotions that we don't want to take with us. Now, once you have a rounded out figure, you can start to reconnect with the world. So once we really let go of our old version of ourselves, we start building something new. And since we live in a world, this new version of ourselves need to be connected. So now I will connect to the edge of my paper. For us, this piece of paper can go on forever, so it's actually connecting to the world. And I will start with the points in my drawing that already look like they're longing to go somewhere. Here I have this little figure that's pointing outward, and I can see, okay, this really wants to go somewhere. And I will go there with the help of lines. And these lines, they are organic. They are flowing lines. You can imagine like the ocean, water, a river, for example. They're not straight. They're moving in an unspecific pattern. And you can just allow your hands to connect to the background. And of course, you want to have these lines almost like growing out of this new you, of this new figure, of this still fragmented self. And just making sure that you allow yourself to reconnect with the world, even in this vulnerable state of still being fragmented. Even in this process of change, we can reach out. And very often it's important to reach out, especially at that stage, because it's very hard to build yourself alone. If you are creating a new personality, a new reality for you, a new version of yourself, It's very good to do that in community so that you are part of something bigger. So you can imagine just growing, moving your feelers out into the world, allowing the world to see you as you are changing, as you are moving through this portal. And just every time I draw a line, I make sure that it's connected, it's everything round. I really want everything to be smooth, like a river. And I will go in all directions and make sure that I'm connected. I seek connection. And while I do that, of course, again, feel in with it. What happens inside of you if you allow yourself to be seen in this vulnerable state? What do you need to feel safe in this vulnerable state? Who can maybe help you? Who can support you as you are changing yourself, as you're building yourself new, creating a new reality for yourself, maybe with new connections as well? Growing into something bigger, growing beyond your own limited self, connecting to the world, becoming a part of the greater story. Because life, the earth, humanity, we all need to be connected. We all need to evolve together. So we're evolving together, changing together, witnessing each other in this process. And then whenever you feel that you are connected, you are part of the greater whole, then we can start to really create something new out of this fragmented image now. And we're going to do that with color. The way I like to use color is I pick the first pen that jumps into my hand. To my case now is a beautiful red one. And then I start wherever I feel it in the picture. So I don't make a plan, I don't think about it. I just go somewhere where it feels like this red wants to go. And what we want to do here now is bring something new out of all these fragments. So we want to go across the boundaries of our lines. We want to create something that's bigger. So I'm not going to only color one little segment. I don't want to stay fragmented. I want to grow bigger. So I will connect many of my little spaces, of my little fragments together with color, creating completely new shapes, creating new space. However far I feel it wants to go, I just allow my pen to move over the paper, and it can go all the way to the outside, until I feel that this is a new shape. So I have something new, something that's completely different than the circles I had before. A new shape, a new version of myself. And of course, I want to create versions that I feel interested in, that I feel good about, that I feel maybe intrigued by. Just really trusting your intuition, trusting your hand with that. Going over the paper with your colors. You can, of course, also do that with markers or with other coloring materials. The important part is to create larger shapes, new shapes. We don't want to color every single little part, and we don't have to color everything too. We can leave spaces white. But we want to create these new shapes, new figures. What you also can do is overlay colors. So if there's two that you feel are connected, you can go over one space with two colors. I don't have this right now, but maybe I find one later where I can demonstrate it. And now I just really follow my intuition. I feel, where does the color want to go? And I grow with it, allow it to grow bigger, allow it to give me this energy. And I, of course, can use my favorite colors, or as I said, I just intuitively pick colors. Then I can think about what quality this can bring for me. What quality grows inside me with this color. And really taking up space, allowing yourself to take up space. And maybe there are things that you see in these new shapes. Often we have associations, mental images that might come up. Just paying attention to that. And again, feeling, checking in with yourself. How does this feel in your body? What kind of emotions show themselves? What thoughts, what ideas, what images come up for you as you color, as you recreate yourself in a new shape? And trusting your intuitive choices. There's nothing you can do wrong here. And really just enjoying the color, enjoying this process, and allowing yourself to grow, to shine, to take up space, to grow beyond your own boundaries, grow beyond. Out of these fragments, you can create something completely new. Once you let go, what does not serve you. Here I have some areas that are overlapping. And just go over it so they can merge into each other. And let's just continue with the coloring for another maybe 5 minutes. You can come back to this later. So as I said, if you can't finish the picture now, absolutely no worries. You just go back to this process and you color until you feel finished. Until you feel complete, until you feel that this is a new version. You don't have to know everything about it yet. This is your new version that you can explore with new ideas, new feelings, maybe a new relationship to your body, new things to do, to try out. You don't have to know all of that yet. Today, it's just all about allowing the change. Allowing that what needs to go, to disappear, to be changed, to transform. Oh. Remember to breathe. Coming back to yourself. If you floated away, maybe you've been lost in your thoughts. Just coming back. Coming back to consciously feeling your transformation, consciously experiencing this changing process. Okay. Now I have colored a large part of my drawing. I'm going to leave the rest white. There's always some spaces that we want to leave white. to leave some space for other opportunities, some space for surprise, for things that we cannot see yet, that we may not need to see yet. So what I want to invite you to do now is create a new large circle in the middle of your picture. And I'm taking a fat pen for that. If you don't have a fat pen, just take your normal pen and go over it several times. I just start wherever I feel it might start and draw a big new circle that will symbolize the new me that is now in the works. The new me that I am now, that I made the space for, that can be created now. And I make it stand out, make it thicker, and other circles. So that when I look at my drawing, what I see is this new version. All the old versions, they're gone now. I gave thanks. I acknowledge them. I let them go. And I'm going to go around my circle and make sure that it is connected to everything else and it is rounded out, just like we did in the beginning. Just making sure that wherever this new circle connects with the rest of the drawing, everything is round and smooth, so that it's a part of the whole. And as always, I feel into it. I breathe with it. I allow myself to really feel this new me that is in the works there. It's not complete yet, but I made the space for it. I created the space for something completely new to emerge, for me to be reborn into a bigger, brighter version of myself. And I honor this version. I welcome it into my consciousness. Oh. Spend some time with it. And going all around and exploring, wondering about it. You can be in awe. Allow yourself to be in awe. You don't have to really know what comes with it. Just allow, make the space, invite it, and say, here, I really let go of all this old that I didn't need anymore. Now I'm open for the new. I'm open for something new to be created. I'm open for the newest and the best version of myself. And this version, of course, will slowly grow. It's not going to just show up one day. You're not going to just be perfect one day. This is still life. This is still our reality, but we make it possible. And then, as the very last step in our drawing, I invite you to invite the river of time. We're going to draw a thick line, a line that has probably the same or even more thickness than this large circle that I made. And I just allow it to go through my entire picture from one side to the other. You can absolutely just intuitively feel where it wants to go. And when you draw this line, just invite the river of time, invite the river to take you there, to take you to this new version of yourself. Here, we can remind ourselves that all of this is a process. And I really just go through my drawing with one fat line, wherever it wants to go. And then again, I will connect this line to the rest of my drawing, making sure that I am connected to this river, that I will actually feel when it's time to change, when it's time to step into my new shoes, that I can take the new opportunities, the new challenges, everything that will come with these new versions of myself that I'm creating here, or that I'm inviting into my reality. Allowing it to unfold in its own timing whenever the world is ready, connecting me to the cosmos, to humanity as a whole, to the divine. I'm taking a few more deep breaths with this. And then whenever you're finished with this process, which of course, as I said, it may take longer, take as long as you need for this. Whenever you're finished, just be with it for a moment. Be with this change, with the colors, with the shapes, with this process, and honor this process of changing. And taking a few deep breaths. And today I would like to offer short ending practice, I'm going to call it. Just because in this process, there might be some leftover stuff that may still be sticky somewhere. No, we've worked through a whole thing. So I would like to invite you into a very, very short somatic exercise, which is my favorite exercise of all times. It's shaking. So we want to shake off anything that's still stuck in there. So if you want to join me, or if you want to join me later, you can do that whenever you're finished with the process. I'm going to also take my little rattle because it supports the process. I want to get up. Okay, so what we can do is start by just taking out our hands. our arms, our shoulders. You can start bouncing just a little bit into the knees if that feels comfortable. Allowing the head to go. You can bounce into the heels as well. And just shake as vigorous or as soft as feels good for you. And just do that for like a minute. You can release sounds as well. That's very good to release as well. You can take to all sides, up as well. Take out your hips, take to the side. And then whenever you feel done with it, just slowly slow down. You can close your eyes and just breathe with yourself for a moment. Just be with yourself, with your body. Feeling the difference. And you can place a hand to your heart and bringing some gratitude for yourself, giving thanks for showing up to this process, giving thanks for making the space for your personal change, your evolution, your personal development. And I want to give thanks to everyone who was here with me live. Thank you so much. And for everyone who's watching the recording, I just want to say thank you for taking the time. I hope this served you for your process wherever you are right now. Just really also respecting where you are. And as always, I would love to hear about your process. I would love to see some pictures as well. And the ones that I hear live now, we're going to go into a little bit of sharing. So thank you. I'm looking forward to seeing you again for the next new moon in Taurus in around 2 weeks. I don't know the exact date, but I'm gonna make a announcement soon. So thank you and goodbye, my loves.